Four, three, two, one. Welcome to another Monday lock and load Google Hangout. We're going to broadcast on gun channels and from the Pacific, and we got our a Marine from Michigan, Squib Load. We're going to talk about bolt action rifles and just our 30-second open with some apocalypse news and the markets and all. So Brexit looks like Theresa May may declare, invoke Chapter 50 or Article 50 of the Lisbon Accord from the EU and actually leave tomorrow. They had a big thing in Parliament, sending something to the House of Lords. The House of Commons sending something to the House of Lords, telling the Lords to get stuffed, and the Lord sent something back saying, okay. So that may get invoked tomorrow. And in between the Fed on Monday and the debt ceiling on Thursday and the South China Sea, North Korean missiles, aliens from outer space, and that big hole in the Antarctic that may be filled with aliens from the Draco system. Other than that, we don't care. We're going to talk about guns. And we're going to talk about bolt action rifles. I had a really interesting conversation. Well, I was on a chat. I was watching monitoring Delaware Prepper, or I think it was his chat on the YouTubes, and just in the text chat, and they said, well, the world is going to hell because the U.S. Marines are now in Syria. He sent some Marines, and they're deployed on the ground in Syria. He says, I don't know what they're doing. What is Trump thinking? What could the U.S. Marines possibly be doing in Syria? So naturally, I just chimed in on the text chat. Well, I know what the U.S. Marines are doing in Syria. It's called killing the enemy. I mean, that's what Marines do. So you may not have any friends there, and nobody will be on our side, but when the people start shooting at you, that's how you know that they're the enemy, you know. And so the Marines just went in there, and they're going to kick some ass and then go home, where they're not going to try and take over the country, or, you know, I mean, yeah, there is no country left to take over. Anyway, so we're just going to go in, fuck some shit up, and leave. I mean, that's how it works in the Marines, right? Squib has been having some computer problems. So hopefully he can make it through this chat without the whole computer thing dying. He's got his new avatar of the outlaw Josie Wells. Yep, it died. Well, I may have to solo this chat on rifles, but I was out shooting with my CZ 527 last week. It's, you know, and I've watched some of the CNC machining on there's some good YouTube factory video tours of the CZ and factory in I wrote the name of the city down in Czechoslovakia, although they have a plant in the USA too. Uherský Brod. There, that's the limit of my Czechoslovakian language capability, because I wrote down the name of where the CZ factory is. And they've been making firearms since 1936, and their CNC capabilities are really impressive, from what I could see on the video. And they actually don't just do firearms. They do, CNC machining steel parts for airplanes, for automobiles. And so basically, some company needs some parts made up. They just send them the specs over the internet, and the parts they need show up at their door delivered from Czechoslovakia. International commerce, great. So that's how it works when the grid is up anyway. And I got to say, my CZ rifle is very accurate. The really tight tolerances. The weird thing about it is when I pull the action back, right now I'm just holding it right here, and the action just goes right back up fine. But if it's horizontal, like I'm aiming it at somebody, it's easier if I just push the bolt in to chamber around straight from the back of the bolt instead of using the handle. I'm assuming that's because of the tight tolerances that they, engineer it to. So the round sits with no extra room for the powder to, escape, and you get all the explosive power of the round into the bullet for ballistic energy. And it makes it more accurate. I really like these bolt action rifles. And I had a great time shooting it. Did get caught out in the rain. I was just for the chat pulled out some Otis Ultra Bore and was just getting some mineral deposits from the rainwater when I evacuated Manuka up there at the hunting area off of it. So I don't know if we're going to get Squib back. I know he has 3 bolt action rifles he wanted to talk about. But I will say that when I'm on the range, I just find that it's like, I shot like 30 rounds. I have 5-round cartridges for this rifle. And I don't know, I shoot slower, more meticulously, and take my time to aim. I get my breath right, when I pull the trigger. And the tolerances are a lot tighter on the manufacturer. It's not like an AK has very loose tolerances. So, but hey, I pulled out the rifle, and when I got used to the shoulder weld, I hit everything with my AK too. I'm good with iron sights as well. But I have my loophole scope on this thing, and I think that I didn't have to do much to it. I put it on. The CZ has makes its own bolt clamps. It's rings that now that they used to come with the rifle, I think now it's like extra or something. But I kind of got caught my dealer, local gun shop here, Kona Guns, just went good for it anyway because they didn't come with the rifle when I bought it, although it had right up before then, and so he just chipped in whatever CC would have charged for what I paid for the rifle. And but I like my loophole scope, and I put it on, and it was pretty much dead on. I got the hold over right, and then I just hit the steel target every time. I think it's the tighter tolerances, but it's just you shoot slower, you're more methodical. You get your breaths right. And pull the trigger. It's just a more thoughtful style of shooting. I've seen, I watch military history and in the crosshairs or bulletproof or something about all the snipers, and there's some military snipers who've used semi-automatic and M14, to fight at night with whatever they used back in Vietnam. Back then, night vision wasn't so advanced as it is today. But semi-automatic has its advantages. Of course, I'm not, professionally trained, Marine sniper. That they have a really good training program there for our military. I wish Squib's computer was working. So his computer had been dying all during the pre-chat, and he came back in and said, I think it's working. And then I said, okay, let's go live and before it dies again, and it died. So that's just, wait, where's my sound effect for that happening to me? Right. So there is a join link in gunchannels.com/HVS, join link for the chat. If anybody out there on Gun Channels wants to hop in. I saw that Jesse James got his, Jimmy James, sorry, got his, or is it Jesse James? Got his Mikey Hartman Red Dot finally. I forget whether it was supposed to be delivered this year, this January, last January, or the January before, but I don't know how long he's been waiting for that to come through. But take a look at Gun Channel, see if Squib gave up or not. Yeah. Well, Squib is still out there from the gun channel, so I'm gonna struggle through. There's been a lot of bolt actions in history that have been important. Somebody was talking to Squib about an old Caraco, an Italian bolt action. That was the bolt action that I believe Harvey Oswald used to assassinate John F. Kennedy. And like I think Full Metal Jacket said that all those rifle people learned to shoot in the Marines. So a Marine and his rifle can do an awful lot. But I'm just a civilian, so I got to say that I was impressed with the factory tour of CZ. That all the machining capabilities I have. There's you could check them out on YouTube, and after watching that, I could see why everybody is all into CZ firearms. They've been doing it since 1936, and I know they have a plant in the U.S. too. But the tours were of all the most of the tours that I could find on YouTube were of the Czechoslovakia factory in that hard to pronounce town. At least for Americans, it's hard to pronounce. It's just I don't know. I like this bolt action a lot. It's nice, methodical shooting. I just love taking it to the range. I hit everything that I aim at, as long as I get the holdover right. And it's like when I use the CZ rings, I didn't have to hardly do anything to it. As a matter of fact, I didn't do anything to it. I'm gonna mess with the elevation and set it to 100 yards, I think, but that's about it. But I really don't even have to do that. I just use the right holdover on it. I have a Leupold 3 DXI. It's like the new 2017 model, I think, or was it the new 2016 model? I forget which year. But it's got multi-coated glass and a varminter reticle and super clear optics. And it's just real fun to shoot. And this one it's basically got like almost a factory custom trigger. Basically, it's like if you push the trigger forward after you've closed the bolt to chamber around, then it's like a 2.5 pound trigger pull on it. It's like it's only you barely touch it. And the regular trigger pull is fine. It's not much more than, I think it's more like 5. So you go from 5 to 2.5. It's pretty esoteric. It's a well put together rifle. Another famous military rifle that's bolt action is a Lee Enfield in 303 British cartridge. I'm just trying to see what somebody's typing over there in gun channels. So Jesse, I was going to ask Jesse if he was waiting since 2016 when he ordered that from Command Arms, or did he been waiting? He just ordered it in 2017. I forgot because the whole Mikey Hartman red dot thing. I mean, I still have the original one, which works fine. I didn't get to shoot it when I was up at the range because we got rained out, but I'll have to shoot it next time. I didn't even get to test out my new Croatian magazines that I pulled off of. I got like a deal for like 30 from I think Palmetto State Armory. I got like picked up 30 AK mags for like I don't know some ridiculously low price, $7 each or something, and steel magazines for the AK. But I didn't get a chance to test it because it just started raining like crazy. Oh, so you got your Optics Planet before the Command Arms thing happened. That's interesting. So, and it came through so we're talking about the Mikey Hartman, or at least he's texting and I'm talking. So the Mikey Hartman optics came through just this month in March, or was it earlier? From Optics Planet. waiting for a delay for him to type. But anyway, Lee Enfield is a great rifle, and they've been using that rifle like since I think it was manufactured in 1950 something, and they used it all the way. It's been it's I think it's still used by the Canadian Arctic Rangers. Let's see, February got the first one, second one. Oh, you got two of them? Yeah, the reticle's. I mean, I have the old one, and I don't really need the remote on it. But have you tried the infrared reticle to get it to work? Because I saw there was some problem with you getting the push to transmit remote or something. I mean, I love the one I have. It's the original, but they're very hard to get your hands on. Obviously, that's not for bolt action. That's for more like the CQB red dot rifle. Basically, if you want to reach out and touch somebody, all the top of the line, I think military rifles. Barrett might make a semi-auto version, but a lot of companies just prefer bolt action. IWI has a great 338 Lapua round that it's supposed to be out really soon, but I've been hearing that it's going to be out for like a long time. They seem to have missed every distribution date that I've ever heard. But if it's out, then actually available to the public, then it looks like amazing. It's $9,000. All my money is in precious metals almost at this point, but so we'll see what happens with that in the near future, this week especially. Like I said at the beginning of the show, a lot of events happening in the financial world. They don't have the remote out yet. The auto off, the auto off and on feature is nice. Yeah, it's supposed to have two different settings it's supposed to be able to tell when you're actually using it, or it's not just any old movement that activates the auto on feature like the original. They improved the auto off and on feature of the Mikey Hartman red dot, I heard. Always, but are you going to do any videos on this, Jesse? Because I can't wait to see one actually being used, and by like a real person, not just like a factory promotion or something. So I don't know if our YouTube is working, because we might need more people than I have in the panel, and I think Squibb is having computer problems still. I think Dusty is probably making beer in Michigan, if I had to guess what he's doing. Let's check the external real quick, if there is an external. Oh, wait, and it's a short muzzle. You have a Squibb. Okay, so I'm seeing people in the external YouTube. Biker Bob, Pink Glam Girl, who I think just hit some ridiculous amount of subscribers. We're just small gun channel people, and it's that bad, Squibb. Your computer might shut down at any moment. Well, I have a video. If you guys haven't seen me shooting my CZ, I do have a video called "I Love the Smell of Gunpowder" in the afternoon and in the morning. It's just a short. That was the first time I just took it out. But I would say that this last weekend I didn't shoot any video of shoot of the CZ. I shot some video in my Camelback review of the AK. So because I was just running around with the AK and shooting stuff. But yeah, it's just more accurate, more deliberate. If you have to hit what you aim at, if I had to hit what I aim at, I prefer the optic, my Leupold optic and my CZ, as long as it's within the range, and I think I need to get my own laser rangefinder, but so I can figure out what the holdover is. I don't have as far as doping my scope, I'm not too into, like, I don't I didn't go to sniper school. I'm not exactly sure how to calculate spin drift, but I can figure out which way the wind is blowing, and compensate for that. The you know, accounting for the rotation of the planet and stuff. It would be really great to get a Barrett 50 caliber or something, or that new IWI Lapua, which actually is like my most viewed video. Somehow that got over 50,000 views. I don't. And they haven't released the rifle yet, so I don't know if people are angry because they haven't released the rifle yet. But they said, I think, this March, and last time I checked, it's March. The IWI rifle. I was on the Gun Channel's lobby, and somebody, was it Michigander or somebody, was walking through the outdoor show, and IWI was there, and they went through the whole. They had the rifle there, and they said it would be out in March, but I've heard stuff from IWI before, so they've missed, they've blown through 100 delivery dates and not come with it, not released it to the public. They may just be fulfilling military contracts. I don't know. So, let's see. Biker Bob says, "You want to do a long range shoot with my Remington 740 30-06? Got to get G-Webs. Are you Biker Bob? If he's still there, I don't know. Are you? I thought you were back up in Canada or something." The Gun Channels has a join link. I don't know if anybody's out there, but let's see. Here's some news. I picked up a little bit of silver today. A few Silver Eagles. Oh, you're still in Arizona? Wow. Okay. Squib's in Michigan, and so is Dusty One. But I don't think Dusty One made it to the chat. But I picked up. There's some really cool silver I got from, I think, Golden Mint, and I think I got it from Provident. I use all the suppliers, but they've got Apocalypse coins now for the Four Horsemen, and so I picked up the first coin that's available, which is the White Horse of Conquest. Is on the front, and with an archer riding a horse, and on the back is the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And so they're going to release four coins, and there's going to be one for each horse, and there's going to be a 10-ounce silver bar with all the Four Horsemen on it, and so they've got a display case if you want to display them all as a collected thing, or you can just put them in airtight capsules. That's what I'm planning to do. But the next one is the Pale Horse of Death. I definitely want to get a couple of those coins. They're only 1-ounce coins, so they don't cost that much, and it's cool to have Apocalypse coins. What can I say? Especially if you're a prepper. But I just feel I guess, I don't know, it's just shooting a bolt action, I just feel like I can hit whatever I aim at 99% certainty that I won't miss, and I definitely don't feel that way with a handgun. I'm pretty accurate with my CQB rifles. I was using Lethal Fusion because my CZ is in 7.62x39. I wasn't using the Tula, and I did have one seating problem with one of the rounds, so I'm assuming that's because it's really tight tolerances on the chamber. So if the casing isn't properly sized, or it's just off a little, it wouldn't seat. So I just marked it. But that's some expensive ammo, brass casings for 7.62x39. Two was all steel casings. But the CZ, is supposed to be able to shoot everything. So far, I've just been shooting the Lethal Fusion with skived bullets. So it's hunting legal, which is something you got to do according to the hunting regs in Hawaii. So the other thing that happened at the range was I declared a range safe, and somebody didn't hear it, apparently. His wife heard it, but I guess he didn't hear it because I went down after it started pouring rain to grab my steel target and head home, and then all of a sudden I'm bringing back. I'm wearing my hunting Blaze Orange vest, and I'm bringing my yellow steel target back, and all of a sudden there's ricochets going off like right by my feet. So I just thought I'd say a word about range safety, um, and so it was a big Hawaiian guy, and he was as soon as he realized that I was downrange, I said, "What part of range safe don't you understand?" So what I had done was I told his wife that I'm going to go down, pick up my target, and I said range safe, and I looked at him and I said range safe, and I did the pass incomplete range safe uh, interception thing, signal, and I thought he bobbed his head to acknowledge, nodded his head to acknowledge, but he was just moving his head up and down looking for spent brass casings. No, we don't have a yellow line. We just have like some dirt. I mean, if you can see exactly where I was, if you watch my Camelback review, when I'm shooting with the AK, I shot with the CZ first for like, I don't know, 30 rounds. I went through them like in, I don't know, half an hour of trigger time, some maybe 40 minutes. It wasn't in any rush. So just Squidmate, is that you? Did you make it back in? No, it's Dusty. Oh my God, Dusty made it.
I finally made it in here.
Taking a break
tonight has been a challenge for me.
Yeah, and Squib, is the internet out in Michigan? Is there some storm or something?
Well, we're getting snow, but I don't know what's going on.
Maybe the apocalypse has already started. Maybe North Korea has detonated a EMP over mainland or something, over your house. I don't know. Because, yeah, Squib was trying to get on. He was in like 3 times in the pre-chat, and then as soon as I started, his internet died. So I've been...
Well, and I've been fighting for about probably 45 minutes now to get in.
Wow. So, yeah, I don't know if Squib's going to make it back in. He may just give up. I know he had like 3 bolt-action rifles, so we don't cover. I see him in the external. So you live on a farm in Michigan. Do you do any bolt-action shooting out on your farm there?
I have quite a few bolt-action rifles. Actually, I'm kind of partial to bolt-action rifles. I like them.
What do you like about your bolt-action, like compared to your semi-autos?
One thing, I got to turn my TV down here. One thing I like about a bolt action is you can adjust the loads to really fit the gun more so. Which being like a lot of times when I reload for my bolt actions, I will just do a neck. When I reload, I will just do a neck sizing, and I will leave the casing to fit the chamber of the rifle. And therefore I can make loads of my bolt actions a lot more accurate than in a semi-automatic.
Why is that? Because of the well, I'll let you answer.
Well, because I'm letting that casing expand to fill the chamber of the bolt action, and I'm only neck sizing to fit the bullet. So there's a lot less gas loss in that load.
So that just affects your energy of your projectile.
Yes.
So what bolt action rifles do you own?
Let's see. I have a 22 Win Mag. I have a 204 Ruger. I have 223 I have, let's see, I got a 243. I have,
Right. It might be helpful if you told everybody what the make and model, not just the calibers.
oh, well, I'm kind of cautious, you know.
Okay. Never. Okay. Operational security. Just tell us the calibers then. Somebody might come sneak onto your farm and just try and steal your beer.
There you go. And that would be a major loss.
Well, but you can always make more beer as long as they didn't touch your manufacturing capability, your craft beer.
Which lately, that's a problem. I haven't had time lately to make any, so I'm out of beer right now.
Oh man, I'm gonna do a beer review for you, especially coming up real soon. I need to do my gas mask video because I haven't shown my new gas mask yet, and I need to do a beer review of my Aloha beer, and it's been sitting in my fridge waiting for me to take it out, try and review it. So, all right, that's on my list for you. It's got some red ale type review.
I also liked your jungle shoot this week.
Oh,
but
it took me.
That didn't look that bad to me. I could have probably grubbed most of that out with my backhoe. I wouldn't even needed my dozer to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, once you bring your backhoe to Hawaii and do it for me, I'll buy the lot. Because it'll save me a lot of money. If there aren't that many, Cat D9s around here, and they cost a small fortune, it would cost me $15,000 to clear a house pad for that jungle lot.
But you don't need a Cat D9 to do that job. I have a John Deere 450, which would probably be like a Cat D4.
There are some rocks, though. There were some big volcanic rocks around that I saw that you'd run across. But yeah, maybe a backhoe would be good enough. I don't know.
But from what I watched in your review, 90% of the brush you showed, I could grub out with my backhoe.
And those ohia trees?
I might spend a few minutes, but you dig around the roots and you rip the roots up, I could get all those out too.
Yeah, those Chinese ferns are tough to get also out. I've been told they have a pretty intensive root system.
But basically, you take the hoe, you go through and you cut all the roots, and then you tip the tree over. I've cleared a whole woods before with my backhoe, so.
Well, I know people. I could find somebody with a backhoe for a lot less money than I could find somebody with the D9. Of course, it'd be easier with the D9.
Well, the problem with the D9 is the cost of shipping it and moving it to the job site.
Yeah.
I've rented D9s before, and usually it's about $800 just to get it delivered to my farm.
Yeah. Well, I haven't bought the property because for anybody who hasn't seen my Welcome to the Jungle video, it's because they were asking $35,000 for it, and the tax assessment is only $13,000. So, and I don't want to just write paper offers and give somebody $2,000 in good faith money if I don't think the deal is going to go through. But we're off of our. I know we're off of our topic, but so do you have? Oh, welcome back.
Well,
Squib.
This is kind of the topic I wanted you to pick up this week.
Oh, okay.
I know I sent you a couple emails this week.
Yeah, about how to, it was about the bolt action. I really didn't come up with an outline, and even if I did, I know Squib has 3 bolt actions. I don't know if his mic is working.
We can try it.
Sounds great.
Okay. I'm not guaranteeing I will be on longer than 2 seconds.
It's the age of the internet. We understand.
I'm glad he's having the same problems I'm having tonight.
Misery loves company.
Yep.
Oh, I think it's a computer.
Did you hear the part that I said about the Marines at the beginning, right when your computer died?
No, I guess not.
Okay. Okay, before you get started, I'll just tell you. Somebody said now that the Marines have deployed force in Syria. I was on Delaware Patriots, and they were talking about problems of the world and stuff like preppers do, and they had a good bushcrafting panel of people on, and they said, I don't know what the Marines are doing in Syria. What could they possibly be doing in Syria? Trump doesn't know what he's doing, and it's like, well, I just typed in the text chat. I know what the Marines are doing in Syria. It's called killing the enemy. That's what they're doing because they're Marines. That's what they do.
I doubt they're on Liberty.
You want to go on Liberty to Syria? Just kill everybody. If kill all the bad guys.
Yeah, well, that's just it. They're like, Haifa, Israel's right over there. All you got to do is complete the mission in Syria, and you can go on Liberty in Haifa. Okay, we'll finish up.
Just kill as many ISIS motherfuckers in Raqqa, and then take a left and go stop by. We got somebody from Gun Channels in the Golan Heights there, and go by his house and say hello, and then go to Haifa and hang out at the beach. But anyway, so what I know, I know you said you have like 3 bolt actions you wanted to talk about, and that you have.
Oh, I've got more than 3. More than 3, but all my bolt actions are milsurps.
Right. Yeah. Which ones do you have?
Well, in front of me right now, I've got a Czechoslovakian VZ-24. That's 8mm Mauser. I've got SMLE, which is a Lee Enfield number 1 Mark III.
So that stands for short muzzle Lee Enfield.
Short magazine.
Short magazine. Right. Okay. Sorry.
Yep. I've got a Finnish M39, and that's in 7.62 by 53 rimmed. And then I've got a Russian Mosin Nagant. I believe this is a 9130? I think it is, with the round receiver. So it's it's not the hex receiver.
Yeah, people like the hex receivers better for some reason. I'm not an expert on that, but
on all of my Finnish Mosins, which they used the receiver, they stole the receivers from the Russians or captured them from the Russians. All of my Finnish Mosins, I've got 4 of them. They have hex receivers. But
so they only stole the good ones.
Yeah, kind of. They only reworked them. And then I've got a sporterized number 4 Mark I Lee Enfield, and that one's got has a civilian barrel, civilian stock, civilian sights. About the only thing original is the action and the receiver. They even put a 5-round magazine in it so you could deer hunt with it. And then I've got a Yugo M48, which is a post-World War II Kar 98K copy that they made for the Yugoslavian military, and most of them sat in warehouses. There's a really good book about these rifles. It's called Serbian and Yugoslavian Mausers or something like that. I don't have it around here, but there's a really good book. It's got a lot of technical data, not just on the M48 Mauser, but on the M2447s, and it even goes all the way back into the late 19th century, the origins of the Mausers, and it talks a lot about how the militaries over their European militaries procure their firearms, or at least they did, how they reworked them in the arsenals.
What book were you referring to that you said you have?
Let's see if this computer don't die by the time I get to the bookshelf. It's a really good book.
Yeah, so I was asking what it was, so we can all get a copy.
Yeah, if I can find it. I probably should have had it. Here we go. Okay, it's called Serbian and Yugoslav Mauser Rifles. It's by, I can't pronounce this guy's name. As many foreigners as I work with, you think I could. Branko Bogdanovic. So it's Bogdanovic. OVIC. It's called Serbian and Yugoslav Mauser Rifles. It's by North Cape Productions. I got mine on Amazon.
North Cape Productions, CAPE. Okay.
Like the North Cape in Russia. So it's not a very big book, but it's got lots of pictures and it's got charts in here and whatnot. But it goes back to how the Mauser rifles came into be for the European countries and whatnot, and it ends up in post World War II Yugoslavia with the M48. But it's got a lot of background information. It's really good. It's for military history too. There's a lot of military history in it. It's a really good read.
Is that why you like your milsurps, because of the history?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you can tell that gun people are smart because, first of all, I'm impressed that you have a bookshelf. Most people don't have bookshelves and don't read books. So
I bought my first gun book when I was 10 years old, and it went from there.
I don't remember what I was reading when I was 10. I don't even remember being 10. I'm getting so fucking old. That's one thing me and Biker Bob have in common. I don't know if he's still out there. I'm not as old as your milsurps, I don't think, but you have a Lee Enfield. Is that in 303 British or some other?
Yes, it's 303 British. If you want to get a Lee Enfield in 308, you'd have to get an Ishapur 2A. Post World War II, India was making 308 Lee Enfields, not the number 4 Mark 1s or the jungle carbines, but the number 1 Mark 3s, the SMLEs. They were making them in 308. I've only seen one at a gun show, and I passed it up, and I really am thinking myself.
They're made at a rifle factory in Ishapur,
yeah.
Ishapore, and it's in West Bengal, India. So,
and I mean, they're nothing special, but it's just if I want to get every Lee Enfield that they made, I'd have to include that too. You know what I mean? So now I got to go back and find one, which they're available, but.
So basically, the 303 cartridge wasn't as good as the Mauser ballistically. So.
Well, I don't know about that, but I will say this: 303 is not .303 in diameter. It's actually .311. I don't know why they call it a 303. I guess I need to do some more reading in my books.
I don't even know why they call it in Britain. They call it aluminium instead of aluminum. But somebody was trying to explain it on whose chat was I on before some troll came along? Scouting Free in Germany had a bushcrafting chat on bushcraft gear like the other night. It was cool for an hour, and then somebody came on and trolled it, and it turned.
Well, I can tell you, shooting the 303, the 30-06, an 8mm Mauser, and the 7.62 by 54 rimmed, I like all of them. I couldn't pick my favorite. I mean, I suppose I'd have to go with 30-06 because that's the American round. But I mean,
here's what it says
I like all of them.
Here's what it says on Wiki. It said the main deficiency of the rounds at the time was that they used heavy round-nosed bullets that had low muzzle velocities and poor ballistic performance. The 7mm Mauser rounds fired from the Mauser model 1895 rifle had higher velocity, flatter trajectory, and longer range, making them superior on the open country of the South African plains.
Yeah, they had the Mauser had the Spitzer round, which is a full metal jacket. It's pointed, so
basically British, they had these round. They had bad bullets, instead of a pointed full metal jacket. They just had.
Well, the British went to a full metal jacket, a pointed round. It's 174 grain, I believe, is the standard.
No wonder we always have to save the British's ass that pull their chestnuts out of the fire because they don't have crappy bullets. All right.
I mean, here's something to think of. My favorite gun is my M1 Garand. And a standard ball round for M1 Garand is 150 grain. They don't recommend that you use other ammunition, although the Garands used to shoot the armor-piercing ammo, too, and that was about 165 grain. So I don't know why you couldn't use something up to that.
Tungsten core.
I'm not sure what what they made it. Probably is World War II stuff, but anyhow, they don't recommend that you shoot, like a 220 grain 30-06 in there, or 180 grain 30-06, or anything like that, because it could damage the operating rod. Now, I have shot other weight bullets with, I've shot hunting ammunition in my M1 Garand, and I haven't hurt it, but I haven't shot a lot of it, and I don't know that I want to repeat it. With a bolt action rifle, I don't think you worry about that sort of thing. I mean, Dusty, have you ever had a situation where you didn't want to shoot something in a bolt action rifle because you thought it might be too hot for it?
No, and I've actually loaded to push the issue.
Yeah, I saw a video that like Iraq veteran 888 did that. He was intentionally trying to see how much powder he could use before he actually blew up a Mosin Nagant. And they are all those rifles are over-engineered for that kind of thing. So I think he had to use just a ton of powder to blow one up. All military rifles are engineered. I don't know about our civilian ones, but I'm assuming they're over-engineered as well.
But most of my bolt actions I have bought because I wanted an accurate rifle. For the most part, I have a lot of small caliber rifles that I use to hunt woodchuck around the property with. And that's, to me, my bolt actions are for accuracy rather than for just a gun to have. I want tack drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the historical value of the milsurps, and there's accuracy of bolt action, and the thing that stopped me from buying milsurps is that a lot of the wood stocks come in crappy condition because they're just the years catch up with them, and it's like I know how much work in it. Like if it's going to take me 6 months of work to get it put on multiple coats of Rit dye or whatever I'm going to do to strip off the old, finish and put on a new one, and put on layers of it and sand it down with quadruple odd steel wool, and then, let it dry out completely, and then do it all over again. And, it's just like 6 months of work to work on the wood, and then you have to, put it all back together again and hope it still fits and the wood hasn't expanded or something. It's just a lot of work getting the wood right. And, so, I mean, I like new rifles, and I was impressed, again, with the factory tour of that I've seen of the CZ and factory. And so that was one thing, one of the reasons. Plus, mine's calibered in 7.62 by 39, so it's the same. I can use the same ammo that I use for my AK. So from a prepping point of view, I didn't have to buy any new, I didn't have to start stocking up on a new caliber. I could use what I have. I could use my Tula ammo. I use Lethal Fusion with brass casings instead of steel, but I could use steel just fine in these. And I plan on doing it in the near future. So part of my choice was of the caliber of the rifle was it was the same as my AK. So except this has an 18.5-inch barrel instead of the 16 inches of the AK, and tighter tolerances, and kind of came with scope rings, to mount the scope.
You didn't want to have to start stocking 303 or 7.62 by 54 rimmed or something like that. Then it's just one more caliber to keep track of. Yeah,
that was one big thing consideration. Especially from a prepping point of view. If you have two rifles that if your CQB and your long range rifle both use the same round, then that's like and I already had tons of AK ammo. Thousands and thousands of rounds saved up. So 7.62 by 39 Tula ammo. So, and some of it was soft point, some of it's full metal jacket, but before they changed the hunting codes in Hawaii. But I do use Lethal Fusion brass rounds. I've been using that exclusively on my CZ so far, but I do plan on using some steel as well. See how that goes as far as just being able to, see if the bullets go in the chamber. I did have one problem with that last time I was out shooting, and so I just marked the bullet and I'll bring it back to the gun shop and say, hey, maybe you'll give me a price off the next box that I buy a few bucks off the next box of Lethal Fusion with the skivved bullets. But anyway. So
one thing to remember nowadays with the CNC machines and that, the machining that is done in a gun shop is probably as precise as what was done by hand years ago.
Oh yeah, they machine the wood, the CNC. They machine, CZ has some really impressive capabilities in that regard. I was saying it earlier. If you look at the factory tour of see the CZ factory in what was the name of the town again? I'll get the piece of paper and say it one more time. It's in Czechoslovakia. It's called Uherský Brod, where they've been making guns there, firearms since 1936. So, but yeah, they do CNC for parts for steel for automobiles and airplanes, and so they're international recognized company, and as far as their capabilities in CNC machining parts, and yeah, they showed pictures of them doing wood and working on steel and how they coat the steel and heat treat it and everything. So it was interesting. But I could see why people really are impressed with CZ firearms. Besides the fact that I like my CZ rifle, but I wouldn't mind trying out that Israeli Lapua if it's actually available. But how like Jesse was coming up with his problem with is Mikey Hartman Red Dot from Israel. Now he has two apparently of the new version with infrared remotes. I don't know if he has the remotes or something, but go check gun channels. Okay, somebody on gun channel side wants to know what is your 243. So I assume
my
that means
243.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a Winchester Model 70.
Okay, so Stephen wanted to know that on the gun channel side. All right. I don't know. I guess guns are fun, and bolt actions are just a different kind of fun. But like I said, if I had to pick, what I could be most accurate with, it would have to be a bolt action, at long distances, and that's the thing, when the most important thing that you do with the rifle is hit what you aim at. So,
Well, one thing I will say about a bolt action, if you ever get into loading your own rounds for that gun, you can tune that round to that gun a lot easier with a bolt action than you can with a semi-automatic. Which, like with myself, I have boxes of bullets labeled to what gun they fit. I've made those bullets to fit that gun. I label them to fit that gun, and that's what I shoot in that gun.
The way you make your own bullets, full metal jacket bullets, or are they skivved or soft points? Well,
I do all my own reloading. I don't buy much ammunition. I reload everything that I use.
Okay, but I mean, the bullets you can buy though. Do you make your own bullets or do you buy them?
I buy the bullets, but yet
right.
You can still tailor that bullet to fit the casing and the round that you're loading.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to start talking too much about reloading because I'd absolutely have no idea about too much of it except for just a few Gun Channel's Hangouts with Foose on his reloading show. That I don't know if he's going to start doing that again.
Reloading is fun, but I think what Dusty was trying to point out was just an advantage, another advantage of bolt actions. I mean, some people look at bolt actions as clunky old guns or just hunting guns or something like that, and they're really they've got their own thing, and you know, all different types of actions have advantages, and then you can start to get into advantages of calibers or all these other things. I mean, look at yours, HVS. Yours, it's one of its advantages is it shares the same ammo as your AK. I mean, that's an advantage in addition to being more accurate, and you know, they don't. It's easier to clear a jam with a bolt, and the list goes on and on. And sometimes I think some of the younger people don't get to appreciate it's like revolvers. There's a lot of people that are turned off by revolvers, and it's not that you have to like them, but it's just like try it out, just see. I mean, there's if you
those,
shoot, you know other guys that shoot. I'm sure somebody's got a bolt action you could borrow.
Well, I'll just say this: those who go into the future who are wise, if they're wise, will take something from the past with them. You know, whether it's a revolver, a bolt action, or just some knowledge from the past, or a book. So speaking of guns, and we've got somebody from Texas, Edge 4006 just came on.
Damn right, sir.
How's Texas doing over there?
Well, I'm holding the fort.
All right. Anything new in San Antonio?
My daughter's birthday today. Other than that,
Oh, how old is she?
she's a teen now. She's 13.
Ooh, terrible 13. You're gonna have to start, you know, showing off all of her boyfriends that you know her daddy can shoot.
No, she can shoot. She's a lot much more natural of a shooter than I
Yeah,
am.
but they'll be more scared of you than her.
Well, I always make everybody know that anything you do to my daughter, I'm gonna do to you.
Oh no. Okay,
I have a 13-year-old daughter also, so I understand, Edge.
Yes,
Right.
like, I have this really cool picture I think I saw on Facebook where it's like the prom date or something or whatever, and they're like about kissing the field, and it shows the other picture of Daddy with the sniper rifle laid out.
Yeah, you need to put something on your door so when they knock on your door that they'll know.
I think he'll be more worried about when she starts driving.
Yeah.
Teach her to drive. My dad taught me to drive when I was 10 years old. I need to teach her to drive.
It's not her,
Yeah,
it's
well-
all the other people on the road.
Yeah, somebody was talking about all the Russian driving videos on, you know, it's like somebody was saying, oh, Russians are great. They get taught to shoot an AK when they're teenagers, and so they're all great at this and that. I was like, yeah, but they apparently, judging from the YouTube videos, they don't know how to drive in like an urban area. So,
I saw this one video on Facebook where like it's like this dude's like trying to pass a guy in a lane, and you see the guy in the back seat stick out his AK-47, point at him. The guy backs off. All right.
driving with the AK, yeah. That should be a thing.
So he didn't pass him after all.
Learning to drive is not what it was when we were kids. I had to lay out, I think it was $300 for my first class, and then she has to take another class that's going to be another $200, and that's just to go through the schooling to learn to drive.
Yeah, we had like a driver's education in high school, you know.
Yeah, they don't.
It was actually
high schools here anymore.
It was actually
it was
a
all
useful
free
class.
back then.
Yeah, it was free, and it
Now
was
you
actually a useful class by people who were actually trying to help you. I mean, they got, you know, like I remember, like, you know, don't like just get in the car and turn the steering wheel if the car's not moving because you're destroying, your power steering. You know, you're just gonna completely kill it, especially in older cars. You know, because he was a mechanic. You know, that was teaching the class. So.
Driver's ed in high school, you have the music teacher teaching you how to drive. Oh boy.
Oh God.
License to Drive with Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, and they had the guy from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the dad, as the hard ass driver eval guy.
Uncle Phil.
Yeah, he's basically like, you know what? Other drivers got this checklist. They point everything down. He throws out the window. I don't care about that. I got this cup of coffee. This cup of coffee is hot to the brim, and if it spills in my lap, you fail.
Well, I'm just glad I didn't get like the high school biology teacher, because he always put home slides, and he did a slideshow for all his classes, and he would always put slides of his marijuana grow from his house into the picture. He showed to the class.
Remember that movie Volcano? Moving Violations.
No.
There's like a comedy from the 80s where all these people will get their license revoked, and they have to go to driving school again to get their license back. And it's comedy. It's funny as shit, because they're like, constantly, fucking,
Yeah. I had to go to one of those classes once for some speeding ticket or something, and man, everybody just wanted to, was bored and wanted to get out of there as soon as they got there, and it was just like, it was like punishment. It was like punishment class.
Well, when they're in there, they have to watch that video. Blood flows red on the highway. It's all these fucking things. You're getting people like this documentary of people getting, killed on the highway. And because I remember when I was a kid, he said, remember that story of that kid that stuck his head out the bus? Yeah. Guess what happened?
But it's not like that anymore.
Well, I remember driving through the tunnel on Mulholland to UCLA with this guy from my class in my old Camaro, and it was rainy and my tires were bald, and I just touched the brakes or something, and I did a complete the car spun 360 degrees, and then I just kept on driving. It didn't crash into anything. It was right before the tunnel, that by the San Diego freeway and the 101. And it was like every time he got into me with a car after that day, first thing he did was put on the seatbelt. I started to get offended. Just because I spun out the car one time doesn't mean I'm a dangerous driver.
HVS had himself a Camaro.
Camaro, yeah. It was like the first
Berlinetta.
No, it was like the first one that they
did it have T-tops?
No, it was like the first one of the redesigns when they had you made it aerodynamic, and I remember I got it before anybody else had one, and I drove it up Zuma Beach, and because it was brand new, nobody had ever seen one before, and I was driving up Zuma Beach, everybody's head turned, it was like I was a rock star. It's like I drove. There's 1,000 people, or 2,000 people on Zuma Beach, and as I drove by, every head turned. It was fucking amazing.
They're like, who's this 6'6" Guido in this car?
So Ed, do you have any bolt actions?
I have two. I have a Mosin, and then I have a K31
Swiss rifle.
Yep.
Yeah,
but
I'd like to get one of those.
It's not technically a bolt. Well, it is a bolt action, but it has a cam that work for you.
It's a straight pull.
Straight pull.
Straight pull bolt action. So. Yeah,
and you did a show with somebody on those Swiss straight pull rifles. I remember that was a really good show. Who was that? It was Murphy's Muskets, that show? Yeah, if you really want to hear a good show about straight pull rifles, go through your channel is Edge 4006, right?
Right on. And check out Murphy's Muskets, because that dude's an authority on that shit, man. He's a younger guy. I'm 40, and that dude's maybe about 27 now, but that cat got his shit locked down.
He's got some great videos.
He doesn't talk when he's making videos. He does his research and then some. So he seldom really just does a video and is blowing smoke out his ass.
Yeah, I remember that, Chad, because you got a lot of great information in that. So that's your weekly show most Friday nights. But you remember what the name of that show is? It just called Straight Pull or Swiss Rifles or?
I think it was Swiss Rifles, wasn't it?
Edge of the week. So Edge of the week, Swiss rifles. So
Yeah, that was a great show.
You didn't just talk about the K31. You talk about the the other rifles as well.
The K1911 and the difference between what is it? Is it the Vetterli and the I'm drawing a blank on. I'm getting my rifles mixed up here, I think, because there's Schmidt-Ruben. Everybody wants to call every Swiss rifle a Schmidt-Ruben, and that's not the case actually. So
the 1911 Schmidt. Everything before the K31 was a Schmidt-Ruben, but the K31 is not Schmidt-Ruben.
Right. And then the 1911 was chambered in the 7.5 Swiss, but everything before that was chambered in something else, right?
7.5 by 55, but no, they were chambered 7.5 by 55 before, but they didn't have the same bullet charge load that they were using. The GP11 ammo you can use in the 1911 and K31, but you can't use in the previous rifles because the lug won't handle it.
Yeah, those Swiss rifles are beautiful. I mean, they're kind of ugly from a milsurp, but for me, I like all that historical stuff.
It's something like, so you put it in your hands and you have it on, and you're cycling it. You're like, God damn, it's nice. It's just a finely built rifle, and mine's a 1944 with the walnut stock. And I was lucky enough to get a tag under the plate that had the soldier that originally was issue 2.
Nice.
And I have a video on that. I think I have 1 or 2 videos on that rifle. I'm describing it, and I was lucky enough for some people to watch the video from Switzerland. They're like, and they gave me more details of who that guy is and how to, what his name is and so on. Because I'm there like, I don't know this dude. His tag has like 4 and 8, like a bunch of language on it. And I'm just trying to pronounce it. And I had some actually people who was nice enough to tell me, hey, what you're looking at is this, and this guy's from here and so on. I live in Switzerland and so on. I was like, cool. I like Swiss cheese. And Swiss chicks, because
I'm not allowed to eat cheese anymore, so.
So you're just down in the Velveeta all night.
Well, I'm still out to drink beer, so that's good.
There's nothing like getting hammered and coming home and the only thing on the fridge is Velveeta. You're like, you gotta pump that through the system.
Oh man, I remember I think it was when I was living in Reseda that Domino's Pizza had this flyer that they sent out to everybody that in the mail for Domino's Pizza, and had the local shop's phone number on it. And it just had a picture of this guy coming home, opening his refrigerator, and the only thing left was like 1 stalk of celery. And he just picks up the stalk of celery. He's looking at it like, oh my God, I'm not eating this. And so it had the number for Domino's, but I'm not allowed to even order pizza anymore because, it's got cheese on it. So once in a while, I sneaking some Parmesan cheese onto a little bit onto an omelet. If I make egg beaters omelets, which is like a low cholesterol omelet, but or egg white omelet or something like that. But anyway, so basically, I think that bolt actions aren't just rifles for old guys. I think they're, if you like guns, whether it's the history, the milsurp, or just because you want to hit what the fuck you're aiming at. It's got tighter tolerances. They're over-engineered, so you aren't going to blow up your bolt action, chances are, if you got a hot round. And they're just fun. I know that with the British Enfield, they had this thing where they could like accurately fire. They did, I forgot what it was, some speed shooting thing where they could, fire like 20 rounds in a minute or 30 rounds in a minute or something like that with the bolt action accurately. But but it was like a special drill that British riflemen did on that rifle.
Well, I can tell you, out of my Milsurp bolt-action rifles, the Enfields, you can cycle the action a lot faster, a lot easier than the others.
Yeah, I like just taking my time, being deliberate, and paying really close attention to my breathing, because that also, once you get that down on your bolt action, that transfers to your my AK with the iron sights. When I switched from the CZ to the AK, I can still could try and control my breaths, but it's you just tends to, if you're shooting the bolt action, with I've got a Harris bipod, you pay attention to those little things that make you more accurate, and then once you get your breathing right, that transfers to other rifles. At least that's my observation. Hey, Rush Creek, you were on. I just saw out in the external.
I remember coming home one time, shit face or fit chase, and for whatever reason, the dining room table looked like a really nice, comfy place to take a nap on, and all the fixtures that were on there and the cloth that was on there had to go. So I knocked those all down and passed out on the dining room table, only to be interrupted rudely by my father about 20 minutes later when he dragged me off the table with my foot and gave me a bunch of shit. And he was surprised that it held me.
And back to why he's bolt action. I still hunt with a muzzle loader, and I go out and I hunt, and I know I have one shot. If you know that you've got to make one shot count, you usually make it count. Yeah,
and there's one of the guys who runs a local gun shop here, but it's more like a hunting shop. He hunts with arrows, and he has some pictures of hunting in Africa with arrows, and it's like, oh my God, you went hunting a Cape buffalo with an arrow. You know what happens if you miss or just injure the buffalo and don't kill it with your first shot? You're going to be stampeded and overrun by 1,000 buffaloes. The whole herd is going to get pissed off and charge it. And so I was just amazed that, he's pictured in there one shot with an arrow and a Cape buffalo. I mean, I would take one shot and instantly run up in a tree. It's because they're a herd, and if you kill one of them that they might all run away, but if you don't kill them and you just injure one, then they'll just charge you and run you over. And
I saw that in a video. These guys were out hunting lions, and they were at close range, and the guy takes a shot with a bolt action rifle and misses, and the lion charges him, and he's racking the bolt trying to get another round in there, and about the time he squeezes the trigger, the lion jumps up and hits him and knocks him down, and he's got to rely on his other two buddies to shoot this lion because it knocked him down and kept going and was turning around to come back. But that's where having a semi-auto might be handy, is if you're at close range and this thing's charging you.
Well, I wouldn't want to be attacked by a lion, and I wouldn't hunt them either because their numbers are going down.
That might have been video of Cecil. I don't know. I'm not sure, but
I don't know. They had video of Cecil.
I don't know. I saw this video, and the guy. I mean, he misses at close range with a bolt action rifle, and he can't work that action fast enough.
Yeah, well, lions and cats kill for a living, and they kill every day, and so they're good at it. Because they have to be, or they don't eat.
Yeah. But if I put a spreadsheet together of how many deer I've shot with my shotgun or how many I've shot with my muzzleloader, I'm afraid I've probably killed more deer with my muzzleloader than I have my shotgun.
Yeah, because deer take off the other way. They don't charge you. They take off the other way. So if you miss, you probably won't have time for a follow-up shot unless you're out in the open. You won't have, even if you had a semi-auto.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you get killed, though, so you just go home.
You could use a bolt action shotgun.
They make those.
Which,
Yes.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Browning makes a real excellent one right now, and it's very accurate. It's actually kind of taking over the shotgun market right now.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, my
What's wrong
local
with-
FFL tried to sell me one.
Pump action isn't accurate enough. Oh well.
Well, I use an automatic shotgun when I go hunting, but
I don't have one. I know I think the Marines have a new semi-auto shotgun, or maybe it's the Army. It's a pump action one actually. It
Well-
looks like it was a P31. I forget what it was. It's some like it looks like it looks like some space age short barreled shotgun. Saw it on Military Channel the other day. Wasn't taking notes though because I was only taking notes on bolt action stuff this week.
I have a Benelli Super Black Eagle, which is probably the best semi-automatic shotgun I've ever owned,
Nice.
and I love it. But
Oh hey, I did find out that my dad still has my original BB gun from when I was a kid. He found it in
You'll
his
shoot
garage.
your eye out, kid.
is it a Red Rider?
I think so. Yeah, he said he found it
Does it
in
have
the
a
garage.
compass in the stock?
No, it doesn't have a compass in the stock. It's just, but I shot the heck out of that thing when I was a kid. But it was before they were all made in China, so it's not like I think the current ones have all like plastic, triggers and shit instead of metal like they used to be when I had them.
We had a fire a few years ago, and I lost my Red Rider. And I would love to have another. If I ever see one at a gun show or something, I will buy it in an instant.
Oh yeah, well maybe I'll sell you mine. How much do you?
There you go. I'll buy it.
Or you're willing
I'll
to
send
pay a
you-
ridiculous price? You give me $35,000 for that piece of land for it. I think it couldn't have cost more than $100 when we bought it. Probably cost less. No, it's not. It wasn't the Benelli. It was something else. I don't think it was a Benelli. It looked like some kind. It was a short-barreled shotgun.
Was it for breaching doors? Did it have a shield on it?
No, it looked like a kind of bolt actiony kind of a thing, but it had a. It looked like a bullpup almost. Yeah, it may have been the M26, Jared Walsh. Was that it? The M26? That sounds like familiar name. Yeah, it's the one that they can use that shotgun. They could put it on the bottom of a M16. So I think it may have been the M26. Yeah, that I saw demonstrated on one of the shows on Military History Channel. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And they were talking about shotgun combat and how the Germans, saying, well, that they tried to get it banned during World War I. And also, yeah, how to he was showing how they used it in trench warfare with the pump action. They would just keep the trigger down and just work the pump, so the trigger's always down. So as soon as the pump came back, it would discharge, so. I forgot there's a particular name for doing that. I've never tried doing that with my shotgun, but I don't get enough time with the range on my shotgun.
Yeah, Ithaca shotgun were the ones that they could do that. They would shoot every time you pump them if you had the trigger down. Classic Ithacas.
Yeah, other pump actions won't do that. I've never tried it with mine, so I just don't get to the range enough with it.
No, it's only that one Ithaca that they had. Like police also had them as well. It's an old school, like 1940s Ithaca.
Yeah, but it's World War One that they didn't have that, did they? They had were all the World War One shotguns called trench guns. Were those all Winchesters?
Oh, yeah.
Winchester made them, and somebody else did. The American Rifleman just had an article on this not long ago, I thought, because Winchester couldn't meet demand, And a lot of these were in bad shape by the time World War II started, so they started a production line again, started making them again. But I don't think they had the bayonet lug or the heat shield in World War II. Who else made them? I forget now. It could have been Ithaca, because I thought later on they ended up adopting the Ithaca 37 for military use.
Let's see. So, hey, Ed, are you doing your show next week? Because I think everybody's waiting all late into Friday night for you, and there was no show. We were all like, oh, shit, no Friday show.
Yeah, I'm sorry to put an announcement. This is my daughter's birthday. Her birthday is actually today, but we celebrated it Friday.
Okay.
And had her birthday at a restaurant, and then we ended up hitting a bar too with my parents, just hanging out all night. But
for her 13th birthday, you took her to a bar?
Yeah, we're like, okay, here's what life ends up at. You know?
Well, somebody had a shirt on Gun Channels. They just posted it it looked pretty, something about a bar. Shit, it was a really good T-shirt. Let me go find it.
I love this bar, but
no, it wasn't that.
We ended up hanging out at the house and just having drinks and hanging out. But this coming Friday, I'll definitely have one of them off this week. So
yeah, even G-Webs was there waiting and hang out. And let's see, where's this T-shirt? I'm gonna try to find it.
He was waiting, so that's all good.
Yeah. Here it is, Psycho Camp. I'll put it out, or here it is, Psycho Camp. I enjoy long romantic walks to the bar. On a T-shirt.
Psycho killers, just could say.
I enjoy long romantic walks to the bar. Yeah, that sounds good. Actually, I just prefer to drink alone myself, or at the hot tub.
I like a bunch of hot chicks around me when I'm drinking. Just to keep
that's always nice. There's usually a couple pretty girls at the hot tub. I just like it when they're over 18. Is all. So
gotta let them know, like, hey, you know what, it is what it is. But you know what, I'm taking applications.
So yeah, I just like spending time at the range with my bolt action because I like to hear the steel go ping. Although my steel makes more of a thud sound because my target, I don't know if you saw me shooting in the Camelback Camelback Mule video review in the middle of it there, but you can see my steel target, and it's just, the yellow is angled down, so the shots go down, the bullet, after it hits the steel, it gets angled down into the dirt, so you don't get any rebound danger, but it's like it's rebound. The steel is angled down onto another piece of steel that's bolted down to a piece of a 2x4, which is stuck into the stand. So it's like deadened. It's more like a deadened ping thud, for lack of a better word. It's not like, it sounds different than if you just had it can't resonate like if you just hung a steel round target on a chain, where it can resonate at whatever its frequency is that makes it go ping. But you get more like a plink thud with that particular shooting steel design, which I like. I especially like that it's safer. Because I did want to talk about range safety a little, because I kind of like accidentally got shot in the general direction when I was going to take my range off, my steel target down, and the guy didn't see me, even though I don't know how he didn't see me. I was wearing blaze orange, other than that he was just looking through his scope instead of, down the range before he started shooting. Even though I specifically told him range safe, and I, made a sign, incomplete pass for range safe or whatever that is. And anyway, he started shooting, and there were rounds ricocheting. So I just want to say it's important to be aware of what you're doing when you're, because it's like every silver coin has two sides. You have freedom, but you also have responsibility. You have responsibility, to get on gun channels and and protect your Second Amendment rights, but you also have the responsibility to be aware of everything that's going on when you're, at the range, because you don't want to shoot anybody by accident. If you shoot somebody, you want it to be on purpose. You don't want to accidentally shoot somebody. That's terrible. So always be aware when you're at the range. It's shooting steel. Jared Walsh, who asked in the external, they do have sales if you sign up on their, for the email thing on that site. They'll give you 30% off on President's Day or whatever, stuff like that. So you wait for a sale. They have some good ones. I think they had a 50% off for the holidays out there. And it doesn't cost that much to ship them, so yeah, check them out. And I don't know what else. I think I got a spinning circle on YouTube now. Let's see. But still seems to be working here on the inside. So, anybody got any other bolt action stuff to talk about? Or range safety messages or anything like that?
I got a text today from a buddy at work. He sent me 2 pictures of a Carcano, which is an Italian bolt-action rifle from World War I and World War II, and he's asking me, what do you think it's worth? He's including ammunition with it. And
well, if it was the one that actually shot JFK, it would be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just kill kids. You got the rifle mark, the rifling to prove it.
Yeah. It was the 7mm Carcano, because they made for a short time there, they made them in 7mm. Then they went back to the 6mm. But just the 2 pictures I got, it wasn't very much to go off of, but I did let him know the difference in the calibers. As far as I know, they use the same clip, the M-block clip that it feeds with. But yeah, there were 2 different caliber the Carcanos. The same thing with the Arisaka rifles. I believe they had a 6mm and a 7mm Arisaka as well. Depending on which series you got, you'd have a different. And I think the Japanese just based it off the British 303 rifle as far as their ammunition. So it's just something to pay attention to if you're out there at the gun show and you're looking at a Milcert bolt action and you're thinking, I want to shoot this, assuming it's in good enough condition to shoot. Can you get the ammunition?
You know what would be cool? I was looking through bolt action rifles on Wikipedia, and one that looked interesting was before the Shanghai check, the Chinese had made this something I think called an M88 from that a factory called the Hanyang factory. So getting a Chinese because they replaced it with a Shanghai check, but eventually, the Hanyang they worked better, so they stuck with that for quite a while. It's like an M88 Chinese rifle, and it looked pretty cool. So there's all kinds of Milcert bolt actions from all around the world, and usually they're over-engineered and that you can hit what you aim at. And so it's just, people are into hobbies. Some people collect coins, some people collect rifles, and like I was saying earlier, those who are wise, who go into the future, will bring something with them from the past.
See, I recently stepped my Hawaii game up. I have a Cross of Lorraine ring now. Like Magnum PI.
Well, did you buy any of his Hawaiian shirt? He sells Hawaii shirts,
No, just a ring. Whereas the Cross of Lorraine.
Because you can buy that Parrot shirts that he wears. I forget his brand. I think it's Paradise Found is his brand of Hawaii shirts. But I mean, he always carried a 45. And since nobody in Honolulu has ever been issued a carry permit for a 45 in the history of Hawaii, they did have a filming permit. Yeah, I'm sure they had a filming permit.
I'm sure he got some help from Higgy Baby.
It was a PI. Come on, man.
Well, you're not even allowed to have a cannon. I don't know how they got the cannon in Magnum PI because we're not allowed to own cannons in Hawaii. They're illegal. So.
Who from law enforcement was going to go to the robin's nest and get it? They'd get bit by a dog.
Exactly, 2 dogs.
Yeah. Zeus, Apollo. We
Yeah.
did this all night.
Hey, but
That is a good name for 2 dogs, Zeus and Apollo attack.
I have a trivia question for you. What color was the Ferrari?
Red.
Oh, dang it. You got it.
Did I win something?
Case of scorching herpes.
Oh, no thanks. I'll have to pass on that one. All right, I'm just going to see if there's anything else out in the chat. Wanted to thank everybody who showed up and who attended and who's on the panel and who's in the external. Rush Creek Survival and Jared Walsh and who else is out there? I think Pink. What was her? Pink Glamour Girl showed up for a little while. Biker Bob was in the external. Gun Channels. Got Moon Food, and he just left. Steve Johnson, and a few other people. All right.
I want to thank Chuck U. Farley.
All right. Anything else?
Saw
Got
the
any-
pirate movie he was in.
Is anybody seen? I got to go see King Kong. That's going to be on my list to do. So, I'll have to talk about. I don't know if next show is going to be about a big monkey in the jungle, but
Flippy said it best. He said King Kong in Vietnam. Hey, wait, the Viet Cong.
well, does King Kong have an AK in this movie? Yeah. All right. So, anybody else want to do any announcements or say anything important before I close it out?
Just sub my channel multiple times. Create as many channels as you can and sub them to my channel.
Why? Does that do you any good?
No, it just helps. There you go.
All
Are
right.
you gonna have a show?
He has a show on Fridays, Edge of the Week, every Friday, most of the times, and a Friday night. And sometimes you got really good chats going on. It's like some chats are better than others. But we try. I always try and show up on Edge's chat. How long have you been on this gun tent
But
channel?
he hadn't had one for 2 or 3 weeks, has he?
Well, it was his daughter's birthday, and then the other time before he was out at a bar getting drunk, and
I have reasons behind this, mind you. No, we do it every Friday for the most part, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. I try to come with different topics, and by all means, anybody who wants to hear a topic, that we haven't talked about, check me in Gun Channel, send me a message, or on YouTube. And we're always looking for good topics to come out to generate some interest. But I mean, we've been doing it for a while. I guess since Gun Channel started, I've been one of the channel chats from the get-go. So over a couple years now. And then before that, I've been doing. I used to call it Edge. Was it Gun Chat Gumbo? And on Fridays, but we've been on Fridays for at least going on since 2000, late 2003, 2013. So about 4 years now.
put all your guns in a pot and mix them up like gumbo.
I think the last one I was on was your beer chat.
Yeah, well, that was a popular chat. I mean, and I'm definitely going to be doing a Aloha beer review really soon.
So we're always looking for help people to come in and help out with being a panelist, and just keep the chat going, keep it fluid. So by all means, check it out and please join, like, and subscribe.
Yep, and check out Gun Channels. It's free, and there's a lot of Second Amendment activism opportunities on Gun Channels. And hey, my particular place on Gun Channels is gunchannels.com/HVS. And but you can have your own channel and do your own chat or join somebody else's. and just, help out with Second Amendment activism. Keeping our freedom is really important. And, it's one of the best things about America is our freedom, it's just a lot of people helping each other to promote the Second Amendment, and which is just one of our freedoms, but it's a very important one. And so it's just a symbol of, free men have, we're free because we have a Second Amendment, and just like having a bolt action is like having a badge. It says I'm free, and we're gonna be free, and I was born free, and I plan on going out that way. So,
Freemasons and join up.
All right. So also, I hope somebody finds out what happened to Ron Swanson, and who could, if we don't, I'm going to have to change the name of this chat to Man the Fuck Up Mondays and steal the name of his show. But anyway, all right. Hawaii Volcano Squad. See you next week, guys. And thank you everyone for showing up. And
remember, there are two kinds of people in this world: the people that are Texas, and the people that wish they were Texas.
All right, so fight the good fight and keep your groups tight.